Hi everyone. So I wanted to just do a check-in. Well, I guess this is just my first little introduction. I've been reading The Vanishing Half. I don't have the cover on, so I'll just show the cover later. But I'm on page 136, and I'm really enjoying it. I kind of didn't know the exact premise of the book before I started, and sometimes I intentionally do that just so I can really be surprised. I didn't know that there was going to be a trans character in the book, so I've been really enjoying that storyline and just seeing a trans character in relationship. And this is actually my first time sort of like annotating a book. Sometimes or in a couple of the books I've read this year, I've written them, but I don't love doing that. And then also I feel like it's kind of hard to find. And so I'm really enjoying doing this. I like how it looks, and I know that if I ever want to revisit this book or, you know, just flip through it again, I'll know exactly the parts that I really enjoyed. So, you know, I just kind of mark things that speak to me, and I don't really care I'm not going to make the colors mean anything or whatever at this point anyway. So, I'm really excited about continuing to read this. This is the first book that I've read this month. I don't even know what to say to that, other than this month is just like really laid on thick, you know, with the with the sadness and the anger and tragedy. I think I tried to say all three of those words at once, which is pretty much exactly what this month was. So, yeah, I want to keep reading this. I want to get to... I always like shoot way too high when I'm saying like how much I'm going to read in a day. I really want to get to at least page 200 today, and I think I can do that. I'm at my mom's house right now, so Josiah's out there playing on her phone or doing something. I don't know. I don't even care.
You brush your teeth today? No, stop. Did you brush your teeth today? Yes. Did you? Stop laughing. Yes. Yes. You did? Yes. Brush them again. No! It's not sleep time.
I think that last time I updated, I was reading last night, and my goal was to get to page 200. I actually stopped just shy of there last night, but then I read, I don't know, like 20 or 30 pages this morning, so now I'm on page 212. We've wrapped up the segment of the book where we're learning about the sister who ran off and is passing for white. I really liked what they did with her story. I felt like it could have gone in so many different directions, and I didn't expect that one. It's just a nice way to get to know her without it seeming... none of it seemed like super forced, which I think it could have gone into different avenues where that would have been the case. It felt very personal. Yeah, I felt very connected with her character through kind of learning how she was feeling. So now I want to keep reading. I'm in my car. I'm at my mom's house, and my son is up there with her, and so I just wanted some quiet to read, and it's such a nice day. I just didn't want to be cooped up inside all day. I just didn't want to do it today. It wasn't my vibe. That's all I have to say for now. Still really enjoying it. Really enjoyed the sister story. I think so far her part has been my favorite. I just felt like more invested, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna keep reading and see what happens. Alright, these are our strawberries. We just... Not yet. They'll grow. We got strawberries, tomatoes, I think that's lettuce and cilantro, right?
Yep.
And then those are our flowers. So we'll see. They smell like strawberries. So I'm at this brewery. Hopefully you can hear me over this music. And I came here for this food. It's like lobster fries. But then it was like, everything's perfectly like distanced, and I was like, I might as well get something. So here I am. I have a beer. I'm at a table by myself, like in the corner. People are so far from me. And they made you wear your mask anytime you're up from your seat. And my book. I'm reading. I feel uncomfortable vlogging, so that's all I'm gonna say. and I'll let you guys know how far I get. Alright folks, so I messed up the jacket of this book. Anyway, I finished it. I don't know what page I was on at my last check-in, but I just kind of wanted to wrap it up and share my thoughts. So, okay, there's no fixing it. I just have to let it go. I loved this book. It was so good. I was so intrigued with all of the stories. I think that the best part about this book is that there are so many different point of views, but you're kind of also you really get to focus on everybody's story through the different sections of the book, but you're kind of still getting an overview of like how everybody is feeling within it. And I really liked that. I loved the story of I don't know if this is spoilery, but whatever. I loved Jude's boyfriend's story. I felt like it was very, I don't know, I feel like I personally haven't read a lot of books where there is a representation of trans men as opposed to trans women, and I thought it was very interesting. It also got me, I don't know, just thinking about, you know, what people who are trans like would have had to go through before it was more common to have, you know, doctors that do surgeries that help them transition and things like that. Loved that the story centers around sister, and then the story kind of branches into talking about the sisters' kids who are technically cousins but really have never met each other until a certain point, and then they have sort of like a strained relationship, and it would have been very easy to create a story where at the end the sisters come back together, and then maybe Stella's husband, you know, finds out that she's been passing for white and she can finally like be free or whatever. But I thought it was much more interesting that she's still in her life and she's still kind of trapped, and you know, but then also in a way that she's not, because she finally got her career. I think that the thing is that at the end of the story, we really don't get a check-in with Stella. You kind of know where Desiree and Early end up, and then you kind of know where Jude and Kennedy are, as well as Jude's boyfriend, and Stella is just still wherever the heck she is, doing whatever she's doing, I guess teaching, but I, in my interpretation, would imagine that she still feels very stuck. I just thought it was very interesting, and it wasn't like the easy way to wrap up the story, which I appreciated. This was also my first time annotating a book. Annotate kind of means that you write something, right? Well, I put tabs denoting that these were like things that I appreciated and really liked. I always appreciate when I find little, or not find them, I'm reading the book, but when there are little bits of the book that kind of, the author finds a way to put down in words what, like, feelings that people have, but you kind of just like feel them and move on, or you don't know how to articulate it, and then the author does it and it just like hits you like, oh, wow. So that's kind of like how I do my tab. Let me see if I can find any that I like specific. There's one part where I think Jude is talking to Kennedy. I almost tried it out for a play once. She told Kennedy climbing the steps, but I chickened out. Well, maybe that's your problem. You tell yourself no before anyone even says it to you, which is just like so human. I love that. I also, there's a part where they're talking about Kennedy and sort of her personality, and she's saying that, or in Jude's perspective, she's kind of, you know, noticing that she's doing all this stuff to help Kennedy, and Kennedy says to her, you're a lifesaver, she'd say, or I owe you one, never just thank you. And I don't know, I thought that that was just interesting, and like, I feel like everybody knows somebody who does things like that, and to call that out and like remember to implement that to a character is just makes them like more real and more well-rounded. I'm not really sure what they're talking about in this passage, but it's not really important. Reese says, oh, you don't even know. If I could go back, I'd do everything different. Like what? Jude says. Oh, everything. He turned back to the mirror. This big old world, and we only get through it once. That's the saddest thing there is, if you ask me. It's just like, same, Reese, same. So anyway, loved the book, loved the writing, loved the storytelling. 5 out of 5, it was great. And they're turning it into an HBO series, and I am just, over the moon about it. And I want to say one thing though. One thing. I better not even see a girl play Jude who is, I mean, anywhere close to even my skin color. In the book, they make it from beginning to end so a part of the story that she's very, 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 very dark skinned. Because if we're gonna start colorism between dark girls too, no. We're not doing that. So, and then, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Can't wait for the series. I imagine it's gonna take a while to tape it because Corona. So I'm just about to read, and I'll fill a reading vlog for this too. But I just started Hood Feminism. I'm at like 50 pages in. It's only like a 250 page book, and then I'm gonna read this kind of at the same time when I feel like I need a break from that. The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, also I wasn't holding the camera straight, so that's good. Anyway, bye.